You're listening to Stupid Opinions. It's me, Hank, with...
James.
Hey, James.
Hey.
How are you, buddy?
Good.
Good. You can let go of my thigh now. Thank you very much. All right. Xbox One versus the PS4. It's been about over a year now since both the systems came out. The two next-gen systems that revolutionized gaming and living room experiences throughout the planet. Xbox One came out on November 22nd of 2013. PS4 was released on the 15th, which was about almost exactly 7 days earlier. James, it's been a year. We've had them both. We've played a lot on both of them, except one of them. It seems to have gotten a bit more attention than the other. Which one did you prefer over... Which one did you prefer? I screwed up that question. What's your stupid opinion?
I think we have to preface this with saying that we're not loyal to one or the other.
True.
We bought them both.
Yeah.
We have them both. We want to play them both.
Yeah.
But for me, it's hands down the PS4.
Why?
Okay. In terms of exclusive games, the PlayStation 4 has had a pretty good year. You know, Last of Us remastered.
Which has always been PlayStation only.
Yes, that's
right?
a Naughty Dog game,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to Uncharted 4 again. In 2015, because that's also going to be a PlayStation exclusive.
Okay.
But the problem really comes down to cross-platform play. Well, not cross-platform, cross-platform games.
Okay.
So
games on both of them.
Right. So a game comes out and like, okay, I have both consoles. I've got friends who have both consoles. Which one do I buy it for? And you look at the stats. Like, well, this one runs at this resolution and this frame rate, and this one runs at this resolution and this frame rate. Do you buy something that runs more poorly?
Yeah.
Or do you buy the one that runs smoother? And in most cases, the PlayStation 4 hardware just allows it to run smoother. So
Right.
it's kind of a no-brainer in that sense.
Are there any cases where the Xbox One performs better on the same game?
I think there have been some notable exceptions to that
Yeah.
rule where the Xbox One just does seem smoother, the frame rate seems better despite this, I hate to say weaker hardware, but that's what it is.
Why do you hate to say that? It's weaker, isn't it?
Because, people get upset when you start talking trash about the Xbox One, and that's
Right.
not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to say that it is not completely up to par with the PlayStation's 4 capabilities. But I think over time, as people learn to develop better for the systems, that disparity is going to shrink, and that won't be such an issue anymore.
Yeah. Like my dad could beat up your dad, right? My
Yes.
PS4 could beat up your Xbox One because Xbox One sucks and PS4 doesn't. How about that? How's that for a summation of your intelligent what you just said? Huh?
Well, to be fair, I'm not a sports game person, and I
That's
hear
true. That's
that
a
the
good point.
Xbox One excels at sports games.
Right.
Is that
Right.
a true statement?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And the reason it's true is because I say so. I have no idea. I played the FIFA 14 demo, 2014 demo, and got into FIFA a little bit. FIFA's an excellent game. It's extremely... I tried to get you into it. You pretended to be into it because you're a polite human being, which I'm against. I don't like politeness. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. No, I'm kidding around. But we're just not sports games. You and me, like, I kind of wish I was though. Sports games are fucking fun.
Yeah.
And like, if anything, hockey games especially I love because of the fighting. Of course, you could just do fighting games or go get in street fights at the bar.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, for me, sports games, like back in the Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo, the baseball games there, where it's just the graphics were awful. I had a lot of fun with those. I loved those games, but nowadays you buy a sports game and you have the player's name, the jersey, their face is rendered. You can see sweat dripping off their nose. The announcer calls their name. It's in the actual stadium.
Yeah.
And there's all these like commercials and advertisements. It feels like you're watching a real sports game, and I hate watching sports. So it kills it for me.
Yeah, I respect it, and I wish I was into it because there's so much of it there to consume. But I just don't give much of a hoot about it. Like you were saying. So like the games are like sports simulators. So
it's literally like watching interactive sports.
Yeah, and oh damn, that one went flying. Fuck, shit. Well, there goes my dinner. You mentioned that the Xbox had a big digital rights fiasco, though.
Oh, right. When it first came out.
The DRM thing, yeah. What was that about?
Well, the gist of that was the Xbox One supported a different gaming platform where, say, you buy a game, and you go to the store, you go to Best Buy, GameStop, whatever it is, you buy a physical retail disc, you put it into your Xbox One, it registers it to your console.
Yeah.
Which means that if you were to take that disc and try and say, hey, here's this guy's a friend of mine, I want you to borrow this, you're restricted in being able to do that because that content that is unique and registered to your Xbox. So that kind of kills the whole game trading, game selling prospect, and it creates the impression, well, not the impression, it creates the reality that you don't really own your games. Because do you really own something if you can't say, I bought this, I'm done with it, I don't like it, I'm going to sell it?
Well, how is that different than Steam, where I buy stuff on
Exactly.
Is it different, or is it not?
No, not really. But the problem is that these are console, players that may or may not have been exposed to the whole PC aspect. And another thing is that when you deal with Steam, you have tons of like Steam sales, so the games that you're getting aren't usually like full price retail games.
Right.
But when you're playing console, usually you've shelled out like $50 to $65 for these games.
Yeah.
So it makes more of a sense to be able to go back and trade them in for something new or to sell them. And people are very,
Okay, but I think maybe the point is that the previous Xbox, the Xbox 360, didn't do any of this.
No game console had ever done this.
Okay, and that's why it's important. Because
Right.
it doesn't sound that... It does like, yeah, that sounds kind of reasonable. But what it is they're locking you in to only having it there, and you don't actually own the game yourself, and you lost a lot of freedom that that your people had a right to respect.
Yeah, and
expect. I meant to say.
Yeah, and there was one
compared to PS4. Is it the same thing?
Well, no, and that was the funny thing, because the PlayStation 4 was sitting back and just loving all this negative press that the Xbox was getting, so they had to give press conferences, and eventually what they just did was they came out and said, okay, here's our press conference. You know all those things Xbox is doing or Microsoft is doing? Yeah, we're not doing that. And that's all they needed to say.
Yeah.
Which was great.
It was a gift wrapped up in a pretty green bow.
Yeah.
Straight to PS4.
And it was a PR nightmare for the Xbox, because I don't know if you've heard of this YouTuber, Angry Joe.
I have. He freaked out, I'm guessing?
Well, he was not happy about it. He was completely upset, and he got like an E3 pass or something and went and talked to Major Nelson, which is like the PR guy for Microsoft, and took him to task. I think he actually kind of lied about it to the other guy, because I think they were saying no questions about this, and he came in anyway, said, okay, I won't ask any questions, then he nailed him with it.
Nice.
And the guy basically, he kind of like took him by the arm and said, but Joe, don't you want to come into the future with us? These kind of games, this is the future. And I think his comment was, no, I'd rather own my own games.
Yeah. Well, the future is angry.
Yeah.
And by the way, check out my new YouTube channel, Sleeping Hank. It's just pictures of me asleep. with directions. Yeah, but they're under the sheets, so you don't. It's not. It's actually safe for kids.
Yeah. So the great ending to that story, though, is that Major Nelson said, well, basically, Angry Joe said, you can reverse this. You can go back on this. You can rectify this. You can make it right. And he just looked at him and said, are you a programmer? You think it's so easy that we can just flip a switch and go back and all this? You really are speaking from a lack of experience. And then literally like 2 days later, Xbox releases a press statement.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going back on it.
I have lots of experience. You're Microsoft. You do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, it was that easy.
Yeah, you pay an intern, and he fixes it. I think interns do most of the work at companies. That's
Probably,
the point I'm trying to make.
yeah.
Yeah, and so they took back that thing. And what about the thing we got to pay money to play online?
Oh, they've since fixed this too, but say, for example, you go out to the store, you buy your Xbox One, you pay for your internet subscription, you pay for your Netflix subscription, and you're like, okay, great, I'm going to go on my Xbox One and watch Netflix. Sorry, it's behind a paywall, Netflix is. You have to have an Xbox Gold Live, whatever it's called, membership to watch your Netflix.
Just to use your Xbox as a computer to just get Netflix and get the other things.
And eventually they heard the cries of the public, and they've since reversed that.
Yeah, so essentially they put a breathalyzer on your car.
Right.
like no, you think you get to use this thing, but you got to blow into this tube, and we're going to take some money out of your pocket before you get to use the thing you have.
You don't buy a console for the purpose of allowing the console to screw you at every turn.
So on PS4 online, you don't have to pay anything,
Nope.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like so.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. PS4 online, yes, there's an annual subscription to play online, but their services were originally and still are not behind a paywall.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
So that's what I mean. Okay. You do need Xbox Live Gold to play online. You need PlayStation Plus to play online. Each one runs between $40 and $50 per year.
A year. That's pretty reasonable.
That's not bad at all.
That's like under $5 a month, and I will spend $6 on Chinese food, and sometimes it sucks, and I still have a nice time.
Yeah, and at least on the PlayStation 4, you get you get like 2 free games, like retail games per month. Like Towerfall Ascension, that was free.
Really?
Yeah, that was one for being a PlayStation Plus.
That was a great game.
Yeah, it was an amazing game.
We've got a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
The controllers on Xbox versus PS4, I immediately, I picked them both up. I licked my hands, as like they do, the librarian does before she touches a page and turns it. And I picked up both controllers, and I said, I like PS4. It feels better, and it has the touchpad in the middle, which is awesome.
Right.
I think in future generations it's going to be much more sensitive. It's probably going to be like photographing your brain through your nose because it's right underneath your face. It's going to be doing all kinds of crazy shit because that's kind of a rudimentary touchpad. But they use it really great in games. And I find it's like a lot of times companies try to put a little doodad, a knick-knack. What knick-knack? That's not.
Yeah.
They put a paddywhack on it. You know, they give a dog a bone, and I'm like, ugh, God, why did they put that thing on? It's just a waste. It's not useful. I think the touchpad could have easily ended up being that way, but and it's nice to see already, only a year in, developers are using it well. It's like sometimes it's just like that's the start button, but it's a nice big fat button. Even at its most basic, just treat it like a button. It's just a big old chunky button in the middle. It's hard to miss when you're in the middle of doing Dance Dance Revolution and you need to pause it because your girlfriend's outside because she's brought over a bag of ecstasy pills. Just kidding. I'd rather have a girlfriend bring me a box of cereal than drugs. So, but the touchpad works. The overall feel works better. Just the trigger buttons all feel better. Xbox One didn't live up to, or doesn't feel the same. I think they stuck with a very similar controller to the Xbox, right? 360.
Yeah, it's fairly similar in terms of the form. They slightly moved the sticks around and made it more ergodynamic and everything. But
yeah, well, how do you feel though? Do you agree with what I'm saying, or am I full of shit? What's your stupid opinion?
A lot of people say that the Xbox One controller is superior. Again, I have them both. I've used them both. For some reason, for me, maybe my hands.
They say
are
the
weird.
Xbox is superior?
They do.
Wow.
Maybe it's just my hands that are weird, but I think you call them the R1 triggers.
Yeah.
When I hold the Xbox One controller in my hand and I try and reach those triggers, which are integral to any game you're playing, you're going to be using them a lot. I have to bring my index fingers forward to hit those, which is not a natural movement for me.
Yeah.
And they take a decent amount of pressure to depress. So I end up hurting my hands just to try and play a game, whereas on the DualShock 4, I don't have that problem.
Right.
So I have to give it hands down to the PlayStation 4 DualShock 4.
Me too, man. Does the Xbox even vibrate?
Yes, it does.
Okay, all right. Well, I haven't been playing it enough to know.
Another thing that the DualShock 4 has that is kind of a little, it's not that important, but it's got a speaker on it.
Oh yeah,
remember how like audio comes out and makes you feel more immersed in the game if you get like an audio log or something like that.
Those audio logs are the only reason I play games. I like to open up the refrigerator and find an audio log sitting there waiting for me, and it's usually you going, "I took out a beer. I opened it. That's when I realized the zombies were after me. Yes. Fortunately, I had time to sit down and record this audio log in case. Yeah. By the way, the key code for the safe is 44685. Don't worry, you don't have to remember it. It's just going to be in your inventory. You can go open the safe now.
But they usually phrase it like, "It's a good thing those guys would never get into my janitor closet. They'll never figure out the passcode is 3498."
You don't do that in your diary? I write, "Dear diary, my social security number is 462-854432.
That's mine.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Why? We're twins. We're the two twins. We were separated at birth.
Oh God.
I don't even know what that means. But yeah, dude. PS4, hands down, better system, better hardware, better controller, better games, and it's more fun to say.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, I do. And remember, I just thought of another thing. You know how they originally packaged the Xbox One with the Kinect?
Yeah.
And people were saying, like, because the Xbox One was $100 more than the PS4. And they're like, no, we're not going to separate the two. The Kinect is an integral part of the system. It's not an add-on feature. They were, like, steadfast in that. And then what happens, like, 6 months later? Oh, yeah, we'll release it $100 cheaper without the Kinect.
Oh, right.
They went back on everything.
Like, it's that bullshit they did with the Windows 8, where they wanted to try to make everything so convenient and easy and but all it requires, instead of going for what people have an intuitive acceptance of something, like an understanding, they try to do these things that require tremendous explanation, and they have to sell you on and talk you into it. And if that's how you have to interact with the people who are using your product, you're not giving them a thing that they need. You're not satisfying a need or a want. You're trying to muscle in what you think they need or want, as opposed to responding to them. Did I make any sense with what I just said?
Oh, yeah.
Good. You get an A+ on marketing 102.
But there's one last important point I think we should make, is that we really shouldn't judge a console based on where it was. We should judge it based on where it is. And the Xbox One
I feel the same way about dead bodies.
Yes. They fixed all their issues. And so
they responded.
Right. Eventually, they were kind of strong-armed. They didn't want to do it. But now we're at a point is like, how many games have we bought for the Xbox One?
One.
Yes.
The one that came with it?
Well, and I bought it. It didn't come with it. Yeah. Which is Dead Rising 3, which I had a lot of fun with. I enjoyed that game. And the only other game I was really interested in after that was Sunset Overdrive, which I haven't picked up yet. I do plan on doing that eventually.
Yeah.
But nothing has really stood out. It's like there was the Halo anniversaries, and I was like, I've already really played those, but...
Halo was on it.
Oh, they remastered all the Halo games on the Halo Anniversary package.
Oh, yeah.
There's just nothing that has jumped out and said, I must buy this, and I must buy it for the Xbox One.
Right. Right. It doesn't. Yeah, and it doesn't even have that like Nintendo Family Entertainment Center thing that they're trying to do, which is also a bunch of garbage. If you ask me,
Yeah.
I don't really know why I have that
And
opinion.
you know, Microsoft recently acquired Minecraft,
Oh, right.
so maybe.
So look out.
Yeah, so there's probably going to be a lot of Minecraft exclusives on the Xbox One that won't be on the PS4. But if you're on a PC, who cares?
Or, and you can see me smiling. Minecraft will become purple with an ugly screen and have a tablet-based interface that you have to go to and swipe dumb boxes around. Maybe if Microsoft does what they seem to like to do, which is destroy everything. Wasn't that Bill Gates' vision?
Yes.
He wants to destroy every desk.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he always said. That's why he's such a red hot sex machine. Just look at the guy.
But in Microsoft's defense, they're a lot harder to hack.
They are? Is that true?
No, look at Sony right now.
Oh, sure. Sony got screwed. That's because they had their passwords in a folder that said master passwords.
I don't know if they're going to be able to recover.
I'm not even that dumb.
Yeah.
My password folder is named SuckProfessor Dialogue folder.
No, but I have to have sympathy for Sony because I do know people who work there, and I would not want to be in their shoes.
No.
They've been personally threatened by this hack.
I wouldn't want to be in anybody's shoes because, shoes are smelly.
Yeah, so while it's fun to read about the whole Sony thing and say, oh, this is hilarious, there are real people who are affected by that.
Oh, totally.
It's a serious issue.
It's a big problem, and hopefully people learn from it and try to do better. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. What are your stupid opinions? We really want to find out. James, what should people do? Like and subscribe?
That would make me happy.
Wrong answer. Like, subscribe, and comment.
Oh.
God damn it. That's it, James.
Okay.
I am not going to refill your water bowl tonight. You are going to bed without fluid.